Good morning, and welcome to A Better World with Julann and Fran. I'm Julann.
And I'm Fran, and today our guest is Katherine Hinchey. Welcome, Katherine,
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
and we're glad to have you. Would you talk a little bit about what it is that you're doing to make the world a better place?
Yes, sure. I am a certified hypnotherapist and an NLP practitioner and a Reiki 1 practitioner, soon to be Reiki 2. I work with clients, all kinds of clients, mostly people who are really suffering with anxiety in different capacities. I have a specialty helping women who are going through fertility treatments. And I also volunteer with the Dubin Breast Center, working with breast cancer patients. So that's something that's near and dear to my heart as a survivor. So that's my helping the world. I'm also, in my previous life, I was an HR professional, and I am a SHRM SCP certified senior professional in human resources. So I kind of meld some of that what I did in the corporate world with helping people with the with their personal mindset and personal growth. And we'll begin working with. I'm getting a certification now, working with corporate wellness.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to helping people on a broader scale with that.
That's great.
That's wonderful. That's like merging your two worlds. First, you were with HR, and now you're a hypnotherapist, and you're putting them together.
Absolutely, and it's been quite a journey. So um, putting together. So I'm not a I'm not a dietitian or a personal trainer, but I have been getting certified in how to coach in those two areas. I do have a background. I'm a lifelong runner, and I and a lifelong nutrition, you know, um, focused person, very interested in healthy foods, organic foods, and eating closer to original source foods. So being coached and getting certified and doing that and sort of putting it all together. So now when I'm working with corporate employees, yeah, okay, so here's another move more and eat better, but then I put it in together with things that I've learned as a hypnotherapist, which is let's help you with your motivation, your intrinsic motivation, your mindset, and the things that are blocking you or the things that, you didn't realize were impediments to achieving the things that you want. And just by doing consistency and small little habits, making the change, and it can really make a significant difference in the way people that feel fulfilled in their lives.
It's wonderful. It really is. And I'm so, you know, I have a niece who beat breast cancer, and she's got some other issues going on now, and she's really sick. So the fact that you are helping people that have cancer, that's near and dear to my heart. You know what I mean? That's really kind of you. It is.
It's near and dear to my heart too. Um, I was diagnosed in 2021, short 3 days after I just ran my my personal record in a 10-mile race. I was feeling at the top of my physical fitness and well-being, and I don't have a history of it in my family, so it was quite a shock to find that diagnosis and then realizing that it really is an epidemic, and it could be a number of things for the cause. And I guess we'll really know. My breast cancer was a hormonal type of breast cancer, which is also very common, and that could be caused by environmental factors. It could be caused by the fertility treatments that I took when I was trying to get pregnant, and or now it seems that it could have been caused by when I was in 9/11, ingesting those that dust and those toxins. There's any number of causes, but what really became clear to me after going through treatment was there's so much more to well-being than your physical body, and I really sort of didn't I didn't really give the full weight or acknowledgement to my mental well-being, and going through the pandemic and after having breast cancer, a lot of things in my personal life really imploded. And that's when it became clear to me, I need something more than what I'm doing. I was really on a spiritual quest, I think. So I quit my job in the music industry, which was really dear to me as well. And I found a hypnotherapist, and she was helping me with both all of the things that I was struggling with, but also helping me figure out what it was that I wanted to do in my next chapter of my life. And it came to me during a session under hypnosis. It was literally a light bulb moment where it was like, I want to do what makes people feel as good as you just made me feel.
What a
Yeah.
compliment.
Yeah. And so I really do feel like with both with women going through fertility treatments and with women going through breast cancer treatment, I've been there. And I've come through the other side, and I can help. I can at least have the compassion, which, I mean, so many people can, but I can have the sort of firsthand knowledge of what
Right.
that feels like. So it feels really good to give back in that way.
Yeah. And I'm sure that some people are not as open to hypnotherapy or to working on, the inside, but someone who's been through it, that gives you more credibility. Not that you know what I mean, with them.
Yeah.
I would think that they'd be more open to it.
So it's interesting that you say that, and I'm not trying to just plug something, but I have been recording my own podcast. I have just recorded the 10th episode, so they're being edited now, and I'm going to begin releasing them. And the podcast is called Hip Talks, HYP Talks. And the reason I bring it up is because I'm going to be speaking to a different healing practitioner each week, much like the two of you are doing. And it's really for people who are like me, who are, what is this? What is this? And what are the different modalities, and what does that mean, Reiki, and what does it mean to be hypnotized? And speaking to, lots of different people in lots of different areas of healing, to kind of give people more of a exposure and to see that it's not so woo woo and not so out there. That said, in my whole journey of becoming a hypnotherapist and all of these healing modalities, I have become more woo woo and more spiritual. I knew I was on a spiritual quest, but I didn't really realize how fully that would take me into, a whole nother place. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. Don't you find that when you're more mindful, you have better intuition, or you feel things? I know, I'm not I just meditate and I try to be present, but I find that I feel and see things and more when you work on the inside. You don't realize how you grow and how, just intuition or something. I know it sounds woo woo. Here we go. A thought will pop into my head like, oh, I wonder why my husband hasn't heard anything about pool. He hasn't played pool in a couple of years. And the next night he gets a text from the guy that's running the pool league. Will he play for him on Thursday nights? So I said, "Oh, you're welcome." He said, "For what?" I said, I did that. I did that. You're welcome. I just feel like maybe you're more in tune to receiving the messages. You know what I mean?
A
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah.
I think
Yes.
that would definitely help in your journey, your wellness journey, especially if you have cancer or you're going through anything. If you just get past that woo woo, it makes such a big difference. So I think that podcast is a great idea.
And it's rooted in science,
Right.
Yes.
and there's so much more data and research being done every day, and it's just impossible to really ignore. And what you're talking about, this intuition, we're born with,
Right.
and we sort of, you know, push that aside as we go through life and really focus more on what's the tangible and the physical. but there's so much more. We're processing so much information that we're not even aware of.
Right.
That yeah, I don't know. I think it's a gift that everyone has, and we can all get back to.
To using it. Yeah. Be more open.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think especially when you're talking about something like cancer,
Hmm.
in a Western medical environment that like the one that we're in, you're made to feel so helpless when it comes to cancer because a doctor will say something like, there's nothing else we can do, or something like that. And all that means is we have no more ideas. It does not mean you are hopeless. It
Exactly.
does not mean this is the end for you. It just means we don't know what else to do because our training is only so
It's limited.
right.
Right.
And
Absolutely right.
it's gotten absolute, it's gotten better over time, what's included in the medical, Western medical treatment, but it's still not perfect. And we are so powerful on the inside. We can accomplish so much. And even things like I so often will tell people, do not use the word my in front of anything you don't want in your life, whatever it may be. It might be a diagnosis, it might be a thing that you experience. Even there are times I will hear people call themselves OCD or ADHD. It's like my name is,
Right.
that's what I
Yeah.
am. And
Monk.
they're so identifying with it
Yeah.
that of course they're going to continue to see the symptoms of it. But I think what you're doing is just so valuable, especially in a Western medical environment like this one.
And what you just pointed out about what they're identifying with, that's really something that I'm just learning more and more. Your identity, and your identity is your choice. You have all of the control over it. Um, Now, that's not to say that you're not going to eventually die. We're all going to die, but your identity doesn't have to be a victim or a patient or a this or a that. Your identity can be what you choose it to be. Um, and I love this metaphor when you're really thinking, because when you think about our minds, right? Our minds are so cluttered. It's like if you have a little kid at a campsite with a flashlight and they're shining the flashlight all over the place and the light is going everywhere, right? And then if we take control and we're the executive of our minds, take that flashlight and just shine it where it is that we want it to be. Oh, it's so much calmer, it's so much easier. And there are lots of ways to get there. Like you were saying, about meditation is really helps to be able to get to that place. Hypnosis, there are all kinds of modalities to help you get there. But yes, and the identity is so important. I'm learning more and more about how that identity is so important and incorporating it into hypnotherapy.
This morning's meditation that I did, one of the lines that the practitioner said was, don't feed into the frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
When your mind is going in 1,000 different places, try to, acknowledge it and come back and don't feed into the frenzy, which I thought was really great. And one of the things, this is a little off subject, but one of the commercials on TV that I love, I think it's is it State Farm, where they have lessons on how not to be like your parents?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I love it. I do every one of those things. Every single one. I went to pick up food the other night and there was ice outside. And I went into the girl and I said, there's ice outside. It's really dangerous. She goes, oh, I know. I told my manager. So I go, I pick up the food and I can't use the door right near there because it's out of order. So I come back around and there was a cone in the front of the restaurant just sitting there. And I walked out the door and then I paused for a second. I said, I should take that cone and I should put it. But then I'm thinking of the commercial because here I go. It has nothing to do with me, but maybe I could save somebody from falling or hurting themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
I just find that, I don't know, I try just every day to make it better than it was. You know what I mean? Like yesterday, people are in a frenzy. There's that word again,
Mm.
because it's going to snow. So they have to
Yeah.
get milk and bread and all of this. And everybody's cranky and they're in a rush. And I went to Costco early for my husband because he didn't have gas, as much gas as he needed. So I went early to get him gas, and all the people are there. And one of the gentlemen are outside to pump gas for the elderly so they don't have to get out of the car because it
Oh,
was freezing. So I
Yes,
put my gas and I said, "Good morning. Try to stay warm." He said, "Oh, thank you. You too. I really appreciate you." And it changed the whole dynamic of the people around me. I don't know. I, it takes nothing to just be aware and be kind and spread a little goodness, you know? And I should be on that
absolutely.
commercial, I guess, because I do that kind of stuff all day long. And I'm sure my kids roll their eyes. I don't care.
Well, what I have to say to you is bless you because that's amazing. And one of the things in my spiritual path that I've learned is each day is to say, who can I be a blessing to today? Because my purpose is to shine my light,
That's
right?
right.
It's all of our purpose to shine our light, not hold on to it. And so, the commercials take it to a very funny
They
level,
do. They do.
of
They
course.
do. They do it
But
crazy.
but for certain, if there's ice and you can put a cone and keep somebody from breaking their neck, that's
Right?
amazing.
Right. Uh, No, I don't know. You know,
Yeah,
just be kind, spread your light. That's it. And you're
yeah.
doing such a great job of that with all of the things that you're doing.
yes, 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 you absolutely are. And I have a question. I don't know what your beliefs are, and I'm certainly not trying to foist mine upon you, but there's a theory, a metaphysical theory, that before you incarnate, you have a conference with your creator and you choose every moment of your life, every detail of your life, including the difficult parts, like your experience with cancer. Do you think that that's the case for you? And do you feel like there was a reason that you chose those things?
That is a really good question. I have spent a lot of time thinking about. I'm not 100% sure. I believe you choose every moment, but I do believe you choose your life and you have a soul contract and the people and the lessons. And wow, there are a couple of those lessons that I have been taught over and over and over again, and they're painful. They're painful. And I've been really digging deep to say, is that why is that I'm not taking that one in. What is happening? And it goes back, I think, to what you're saying. And I do believe that, you know, we are here to sort of master some of these things, and maybe we don't master everything in this lifetime. Maybe it takes it to the
Right.
next lifetime, and maybe some of the stuff that I'm really challenged with again and again comes from previous things, and they manifest in very tangible ways, but the underlying meaning behind what it is so deep and 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 big. And I think for the first part of my life, I mean, I was a creative person for earlier in my life. I have a degree in acting and I was an actress for years, and I then switched over to the other side and did film production and casting. And so I do think that when I was focused more on my creative life, I was more in touch with sort of my spiritual side, and then just really abandoned it for, I got to be a grown up now, and I'm going to,
Ability. Right.
yeah, I'm going to be
Right.
successful at, what I do. And, um, and when you abandon yourself that way and you're just not in touch, then that's when, boom, it's going to, whatever. Cancer was a big wake up, you know, and it was a culmination of, I think, so many things that I was not giving credence to or acknowledging or, just so sort of tunnel visioned on that, physical plane of this lifetime here and this success in this particular way. And I'm glad that I had that wake up, but it was, I think it was painful. But so to answer your question, yes and no. I'm not sure about every moment. I have to think about that, and I've heard that, and I'm not. It doesn't fully resonate with me, but the whole soul contract and knowing that you're choosing this life, you're choosing your parents, you're choosing what happens. Again, yes, yes, I do believe in free will, so I think that every moment goes a little far for me, but um, definitely the challenges that we face, for sure.
Oh, well, thank you for that very thorough
Yeah,
answer.
that's great. And you know what else I think? Um, I tell my granddaughter when I try to explain things to her that, because she has questions like, well, if there's a God, why is there, Grandma, look at all those cars crashing on the highway. And there's situations that we go, but I think what we get is the ability to choose. We're given, at the beginning, however we do it, however we choose. And then in life, you have the choice right or left, yes or no, whatever it is. So I think that's the biggest gift we get, the choice to choose our own path. You know what I mean? So I think maybe some of the reasons, some of the things that you went through helped you to be on the path now where you're not saying every day, is this it? Is this what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah,
Now you feel, I don't know, it's a gift and
it's a
you have
gift.
it. Yeah.
And I think about, I have a son who is 14, he'll be 15 next month. And it's just at my absolute joy of my life. um, and when he was much younger, so his father was raised Jewish, and I wasn't raised particularly anything but Christian. So my father was Catholic, my mother was Southern Baptist, and they were hippies, so they decided not to put any of that on us. But I did have very Christian beliefs, and my husband was raised Jewish. So my son, we are, are not raising him with any particular religion, but I've always been a very spiritual person in terms of talking with him about things. And he is, well, first of all, he's almost 15, so he knows everything.
Andy.
But he is very smart. He is very pragmatic, and he's very proud of me and the work I'm going in it. And when I first started out, every time I get a new client, he would high five me and he would ask me like, what's my billing up to?" And he just get really excited about it. But then when I started getting more into like the manifestation and the more sort of woo woo stuff, he's very skeptical, very skeptical. And that's okay. That's okay. He has his own life and his own lessons to learn. But I will say this, and I did write about it in one of my blogs. But so I learned about the yellow butterfly experiment from Jim Curtis, who is famous because he's Jennifer Aniston's boyfriend now, the
Ah,
hypnotherapist, right? But but I heard him on a podcast talking about how he always starts with manifestation with telling people to look for the yellow butterflies. And just, you know, each night before you go to bed, set that intention in the morning, wake up expecting that you're going to see the yellow butterflies. And I was like, I'm going to do this experiment. And I told my son about it, and he rolled his eyes. And I did the experiment. And within 2 days, I was seeing yellow butterflies everywhere. And it was November. So, I mean, it wasn't
Summer.
real yellow butterflies, but I was seeing them on murals and in stores and on buildings, on the security signs. I mean, and every time I would see them, I would, send a picture to my son, and then finally,
Right. See?
I was on a run and I came across there was this new art installation by the river, and on the jacket of the person in the art was filled with yellow butterflies, and I was like, you can't ignore this, and he was like, okay.
Okay.
um, yeah, so I think, um, I guess I lost my train of thought there, but I was thinking about in terms of everyone has their own path. He has his own path. He'll find his way. But if I can be an example in a positive way for him to get there sooner than, sooner than me when I was 50, when I made that, discovery of, oh gosh, there's more.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize when you speak of manifestation, they think about what you are going to manifest. They don't realize that everything that happens is something that we have manifested. And they would say, well, why would I want to have manifested this thing that I don't like, this pain or this disease or whatever it may be? And, asking that question makes logical sense, but manifestation is not always logical. Sometimes it's your subconscious mind, which of course doesn't deal in logic.
Right.
So, that's what happens sometimes.
Absolutely. Boy, that
Yeah.
subconscious mind.
Right.
And it's in charge. Um, well, this has been a wonderful episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Jewel, did you have any more questions?
Well, what I'd like to ask is if there was one thing the audience could take away from today, one thing you'd like them to go with, what would it be?
You are in charge of your identity, and you are not a victim, and you can find your purpose and your light. You just have to open up and receive it.
Ah,
It's
that's
there.
such a beautiful
Beautiful.
message. Thank you.
Yeah.
And when people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Sure. So my website is Hinchey Hypnotherapy, and Hinchey is Hinchey. And I'm on Instagram at Hinchey_hypnotherapy, and be on the lookout in Apple Podcasts for Hip Talks.
That's very great.
That's wonderful.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. What happens now
Pleasure.
is I'll get the link and I'll send it to you when it's all uploaded to YouTube. And what I would like to say to you, in addition to thank you and for such a wonderful episode, is please like and share the video as far and wide as you like.
Absolutely.
And this has been another episode of A Better World with Julann and Fran and our guest, Katherine Hinchey. Thank you for joining us and join us again, won't you? So,
Yes.
so long for now.
Take
Bye.
care.